now,
Radio Cayman presents
The Business Buzz, an insightful and fresh take on a variety of issues that impact the local business environment. This is where we address the business topics that matter.
Radio Cayman's Business Buzz.
Here's your host,
Anita Khan.
Good morning to our listeners and our YouTube viewers in the Cayman Islands and around the world. Good morning to the producer of The Buzz, Miss Susan Watson, who is in the next studio. And she's taking care of the controls, including your camera and the telephones. Welcome to the Business Buzz on Radio Cayman. With only one segment this morning, we put the focus on Cayman Hearing Center. With over 20 years of knowledge and experience and more than 3,000 happy patients to date, Cayman Hearing Center is proud to be the only full-service audiology clinic serving the Cayman Islands, and they specialize in the diagnosis, treatment, and prevention of hearing loss. Let's give a warm business buzz welcome to a young Caymanian who is the owner, and she's audiologist, Dr. Annette Stevenson. Good morning, Dr. Annette.
Good morning, Anita. Thank you for having me.
All right. What a tongue twister this morning. Audiology. Nice way to start. Talking about hearing loss and this good stuff. Now, Dr. Stevenson, we have you back on the Business Buzz for a part two, basically. You've moved locations, but we're going to talk about that later on. Okay. But first of all, for those listeners who didn't hear you the last time you were on the Business Buzz, tell us a little bit about yourself and how you came to make that decision to be an audiologist.
Right. So, I'm a local girl, born and raised.
Local girl, I like that.
Local girl. And I became interested in sign language when I was about 10. I don't know if they still have Girl Guides. Do they still have the Girl Guides program? Mm-hmm. So it was one of the badges that we were supposed to get in Girl Guides. And it was the sign language badge. And I got fascinated with sign language. And I actually wanted to be a teacher. I thought I wanted to be a teacher. But I realized I didn't want to be a teacher. So I'm
not going to ask why.
Yeah, no. Different topic, different day. But I knew that I wanted to do something to help the hearing impaired, especially because my grandfather, the late Lester Brown, he had hearing loss. And as he got older and his hearing got worse, I saw him withdrawing from our family functions. And it just made me sad. And so I wanted to be able to help people with their hearing. And I found audiology. And I never looked back. And I wanted to do something for the people of Cayman, and so that's why I opened the business. I opened Cayman Hearing Center in 2007 because we didn't have any audiology services at that time, and I wanted to bring audiology to the island.
So you went off to school? I
went off to school, 8 years of school.
That's a long time.
It's a long time. It's a long time. But yeah, I went my way to school, and then I got probably about 5 years experience in the U.S. working in different settings of audiology. I actually opened the business while I was living in Florida and working in Florida. And I would fly home once a month on a Friday night out of Miami. I would see patients all day on a Saturday, and I would fly back to Miami on Sunday to go back to work on Monday. So when I say that the Cayman Airways staff in Miami know me very well, and the TSA staff know me very well, whenever they would see my name on the flight manifest, they knew that I was going to be late. Can't tell you the amount of times that they actually held a plane for me. I mean, it was never late, but I did that for 4 years.
4 years.
I did that for 4 years, and I grew the business. I got experience, and I made the decision in 2010 to come back home full time and work the business full time.
And here you are.
And here I am.
And here you are on the business.
Yeah, imagine that.
No, Dr. Stevenson, you're pretty young. I'm not going to ask your age. No, we're not going to ask age.
I'm 18.
But you're pretty young, and it's great to see a young Caymanian, having an own business, over 3,000 happy patients so far. Yeah, that is some accomplishment.
Yeah.
Proud of you.
Thank you. It's been 15 years.
15 years.
I can't believe that we've 15 years. That's pretty amazing. And I really am very grateful to the support of the community for coming and supporting us and just utilizing our services. And 15 years.
Okay. Now, so after being 15 years in the business, tell us about your areas of expertise.
So we do everything related to audiology. The way I like to explain it to people is you have an optician and you have an ophthalmologist. So the optician, you get your eyeglasses. The ophthalmologist, you do the surgery, right? So as an audiologist, we're like the opticians for your ears. You come to us when you can't hear well. We check your hearing. We give you hearing aids if you need it. There's dizziness as well. We check for dizziness, balance disorders, and there are some disorders that we can actually treat. Tinnitus, which is a ringing in the ears, we can also test and provide rehabilitation for that. At children, there's lots of disorders with children as it affects their hearing and their learning. Sometimes children are labeled as misbehaving or bad children when it's really something to do with their auditory processing. And that's something that we test for, and we can provide resources for them to get help. Hearing protection, sleep plugs. I have a lot of wives that come in to get sleep plugs because their husbands snore. Yeah.
Okay. I'm not going to laugh, but I believe you. Some of us do snore. We only have cats and dogs to complain.
Yeah.
Who complain, But yes. Now, what are some of the office services you offer at Cayman Hearing Center, Dr. Stevenson?
We do hearing tests, the full battery of hearing tests from newborn. So the youngest patient we can test is 24 hours. And then our young at heart, I don't like to call them our old patients. They're young at heart. So we do a full battery of complete audiological evaluation. So we do the full test from the outer ear all the way up to the inner ear and the nerve of the ear. We can do all that testing. We test for balance and we test for the ringing in the ears. We're able to pinpoint the pitch and the frequency and the volume of that to be able to provide rehabilitation for that. We do earplugs, we do some assisted listening devices, we do oral rehabilitation. So there are some individuals who will come in to see us and they say that they have difficulty hearing, especially in noisy situations. But then when we test them, their hearing is actually normal. So in that instance, we call that hidden hearing loss. And so there's oral rehabilitation. So we will give you exercises and tools and tips to be able to strengthen your auditory muscle, if you will, so that it will help you in those situations, because hearing aids aren't going to help you because you don't have a hearing loss.
So it's called hidden
hearing loss.
Hidden hearing loss.
And it's when you are having difficulty hearing, but you present clinically with normal hearing. And so when we do our testing, you're presenting to us with normal hearing and we're like, oh, well, your hearing is normal. But there's something beyond the hearing test that is causing you to have difficulty in noisy situations in particular. And we call that hidden hearing loss.
So do you have some other sort of testing to be able to diagnose that hidden
No,
hearing
unfortunately,
loss?
there is nothing that we can pinpoint that we can test and say, okay, you have hidden hearing loss. We come to that conclusion based on the history of the patient and what they tell us when they see us, when they come to the appointment, and the questions and their case history and their medical history as well. Okay. And then we come to that determination.
You have live speech mapping.
Speech mapping. Yeah, that's actually pretty cool. So how can I best explain it? So it's a box. It's a box. And we put a tiny probe microphone. It's a very, very tiny tube into the person's ear. And then we put their hearing aid in. And we are measuring the electroacoustical functioning of the hearing device.
God, I didn't have to say that this morning.
To make sure that the hearing devices are giving you the most appropriate sound. We're not running blind. We're not just guessing, okay, yes, this is how loud we're going to make it. we're actually getting a response from your ear with the hearing aid in your ear in response to sound. And so that's very useful when somebody comes in and they say, well, I was in this situation and I just wasn't able to hear the conversations very well. Then what we can do is we can recreate that situation in the office, and we're able to see, well, okay, the hearing aid is not chipping in this point, so we need to boost it up a little bit. So it's just really, really helpful for us when we are programming the devices to really get it as accurate as possible.
So how about those patients that come to you and say, I can hear someone speaking to me, but it's not clear what they're saying. And even that person is very close to you. What sort of diagnosis would you run for that?
I mean, everybody that comes in the office, we put them through a basic hearing test first, because we need to have a baseline of where they're. Even if you come in with a complaint of dizziness, we're going to do a basic hearing test first, because we need to see the full picture. Now, a lot of people, especially, we're seeing it a lot more these days because of the headphones. And, over the last 2 years, with a lot of video conversations and things of that nature, we are seeing a lot of noise-induced hearing loss, which is going to affect the high frequencies. So the high frequencies are where we get the clarity and understanding of speech. Now, I know Susan probably has her board with all her switches and buttons that she can equalize the sound. So, if you take down all the high frequencies, it's going to pull the clarity of speech. And it's going to sound very bassy, and it's not going to be clear. And what happens in noise-induced hearing loss is that the high frequencies are impacted. And so you'll be able to you'll hear that somebody is talking, but you're not going to understand what they're saying. And so there are hearing devices that are specifically designed to give you back the high frequencies. So,
it's like wearing your glasses.
Yeah.
And, if they're not tested right, the right strength, you won't see properly.
Yeah.
It'll all be fuzzy. And
Yeah.
I'm just trying to figure how this works.
That's a good analogy. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. All right. Now, give us a rundown on some of the evaluation services that you offer at Cayman Hearing Center.
Newborn screening testing. We do auditory processing evaluations.
Okay, you did mention some of that, right?
Yeah. And what else do? We actually...
How about industrial?
Yes. So utility workers, anybody that's industrial workers, anybody that's working around noise, it is a safety requirement that their hearing is tested once a year, especially if they work around a lot of noise. So CUC, airport, fire services, things of that nature. So we do provide that service to some of those companies, just to keep a check of their employees' hearing, and so that they can know how best to place them, and if they're noticing anything that they can, reassign them or something like that.
And this is for their own safety as well.
Yeah, for their own safety. Yeah, it's also an OSHA regulation.
Okay.
So, the occupational safety hazard. Yeah, so it's also an OSHA regulation that it needs to be done for sure.
Okay. Yeah. Now, the good news is Cayman Hearing Center has relocated.
Yes, that's the big announcement.
You were originally in the Pasadena Place.
We were originally in Pasadena Place, and we are now in Alista Towers. That's next to Kirk Office. It's where the baby shop is. Everybody knows where the baby shop is. So we are in Alista Towers. We're on the 3rd floor. There is an elevator, so don't worry. But you can also walk up the stairs if you want to get your steps in and work out. Right, but we do have an elevator. But we are located in Alista Towers. That's on North Sound Road. Our patients would be happy to know that parking is better, so much better. I think that's probably what I'm most excited about is the parking, because parking in Cayman is seriously a problem. But the parking is better. We have a lot more space that we're able to provide better, a more comprehensive care to our patients. So we are very excited about that. This past Tuesday was our first day in the new location.
Yeah, congratulations.
Thank you. So we're very excited.
What are your opening hours again?
Our opening hours are Monday to Thursday, 8:30 to 5, and Friday, 8:30 to 3.
Oh, somebody goes home early, early on a Friday.
Yes, we start our weekends early.
And you close on Saturdays.
And we close on
Okay.
Saturdays.
All right. So that's Monday to Thursday, 8:30 to 5. And then on Fridays, 8 to 3.
8:30 to 3.
8:30
And then
to
we're
3.
closed on the weekend.
And closed on Saturdays.
And,
okay.
From a business standpoint, because, this is the business buzz, and we're talking about Cayman Hearing Center, but being an entrepreneur, and I really encourage people, if they want to have their own business, like I am such a supporter of anybody who wants to start their own business. But at the same time, I'm also a big proponent of work-life balance. And my staff are like, they're pleasantly surprised when they come to work at Cayman Hearing Center that I very much want them to have a life outside of the office, because I need them to take care of themselves so that they can come in and do their job. So I'm very much about taking the time, and that's one of the reasons why we close early on a Friday and we don't open on the weekends, because I want my staff to enjoy their life.
I just thought it was time for happy hour. I'm just kidding. No, I'm just kidding.
I mean that too, but anyway.
No, but it's great. That's great. If you're just joining us, you're listening to the Business Buzz. We're speaking with Dr. Annette Stevenson. She's the owner of Cayman Hearing Center, and she's your local audiologist, and they're in their new location at on the third floor of the Audiologist Tower, which is located on 85 Northtown Road. That's right. All right. We're going to want to say thanks to our sponsors this morning, Cayman Insurance Center and Cayman Medical Supplies. Thank you.
I'm Michael Webster.
And I'm Denise Brown of Cayman Insurance Center.
Family is not the most important thing, it's everything.
And for 45 years, we have worked with the community and their families on protecting themselves for the future.
Whether it's providing top-rated life insurance
or protecting your family's household investment.
From our family to yours, we understand and we care.
I'm Denise Brown. Call me at 814-7229.
And I'm Michael Webster at 925-5433.
We are Cayman Insurance Center,
specializing in property, life, and other lines of insurance products and services at an affordable rate. We are Michael and
Denise at Cayman Insurance Center.
Call today.
Oh gosh.
Don't let the stress of taking care of loved ones get you down.
Home care, now made easier with Cayman Medical Supplies. 100% Caymanian owned. Cayman Medical Supplies now stocks a wide range of home care supplies. Hospital beds, all types of wheelchairs, including beach access wheelchairs, lifts, commodes, shower chairs, walkers, Curad brand orthopedic supplies. Free blood glucose monitors with the purchase of 1 pack of test strips, blue underpads, and a whole lot more.
Need home care convenience? Drop by Cayman Medical Supplies at 93 Smith Road, Windward Center, or call 949-6211. Free delivery.
Open 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. Still delivering island-wide for your convenience.
I've got some beautiful clothes. I know just where they go. Puritan Cleaners.
Puritan Cleaners, now using the most popular and eco-friendly cleaning solvents. 2 convenient locations to serve you: Savannah Countryside and Eastern Avenue, Georgetown. Drive-through, rain or shine, free pickup and delivery services available. Call Puritan Cleaners, 949-7104. Also ask about our in-house discounts. Puritan Cleaners, you feel good when you look good.
Join us in celebration of Her Majesty the Queen's Platinum Jubilee. The Cayman Islands is excited to be hosting a variety of free, family-friendly activities throughout the community you won't want to miss, such as the Queen's Jubilee Family Afternoon Tea Party at the National Gallery on May 21st at 1 p.m. So many activities and something for everyone. For more information on the upcoming Queen's Platinum Jubilee events, visit www.gov.ky/Jubilee.
Business Buzz. Business Buzz with your host, Anita Khan.
Good morning and welcome back to the Business Buzz. We're looking at audiology, how it works.
Got it.
And how, what's good for you. So we have in the studio Dr. Annette Stevenson. She's the owner of Cayman Hearing Center, and she's also an audiologist. Dr. Stevenson, we missed one of your services that you offered, and I think it's a big one for a lot of people. VNG balance evaluation.
VNG, so This is a tongue twister. VNG stands for video nystagmography.
Okay.
I'll say that 5 times fast.
Susan, try that.
So this test is, when a lot of people hear audiology, they automatically think hearing and hearing aids, which when I got into the industry, when I started school, that's what I thought too. And then I get into school and I realize, there's so much more than just the hearing. So the hearing nerve also is the balance nerve, which is what keeps us steady, And so the VNG testing, if anybody ever complains of vertigo, feeling off balance, or dizzy, they come in and we do the VNG test. And after you do your basic hearing test, you come and the VNG test, we put goggles on you that have cameras, and I have you watching things on a screen like a dot move around. I lay you down on our table and you're in different positions. And then there's a part of the test where I change the temperature of your inner ear by blowing some air, not me personally blowing. I have a machine that puts the air into your ear, and it changes the temperature of your ear to elicit a response. And our balance is controlled by our eyes, our ears, and our feet to feel the ground. And whenever one of those things is off, we're going to feel off balance. And so the VNG test is giving me the information between the eyes and the ears and how they're responding. Now, your eyes will move. We call it nystagmus, and that's when your eyes sort of move back and forth. And there's a certain configuration of how your eyes move that will tell me whether the dizziness is vertigo, whether it is coming from the brainstem, whether it's coming from your central nervous system. It's probably get a little too technical, but whether it's compensated or uncompensated. And then based on that information, I'm able to provide a recommendation, whether or not it's vestibular rehabilitation. So that's like physical therapy, fall prevention, whether it's medication, whether you need to see a neurologist. So that is probably the part of audiology that I enjoy the most, because to me, it's like it's like a 1,000-piece puzzle that I have to put together. And I enjoy that very much.
I could tell.
Yeah. So that's what the VNG is. So, if anybody's dizzy or off balance, it's something that we test for sure.
You have a lot of people who have stopped driving, like people in their starting in their 60s, mid-60s. And they stop driving because they're thinking, well, look, I'm driving and all of a sudden I feel like I'm off. I'm going off the street or off the road. Would you suggest getting their audio tested?
I mean, I'm biased, so I'm going to say everybody needs to come and get a hearing test. That's what I'll say. But if you're...
And you do offer free...
we do offer free... So it's...
Screening.
We do a free screening. So we did it last time we were on the air. And I always do this. And my staff they're always prepared whenever I go on a radio. They're like, oh, she's going to do something. She's going to say something. But so if anybody calls in, if anybody says they heard me on the Business Buzz, they will get a free hearing screening. It's just a basic screening just to give us an idea of what your hearing is at. And I mean, my staff already know this, so this is not a surprise. But for the month of May, in honor of our 15th anniversary and in honor of May being Better Speech and Hearing Month, we are offering a 15% discount on hearing aids. Certain hearing aids, not all hearing aids, but we are offering a 15% discount on hearing aids for the month of May. May is Better Speech and Hearing Month. It's not something that we came up with, Better Speech and Hearing Month. It's something that was started in the U.S. and it's just to bring awareness to audiology, hearing services, speech services. So May is Better Speech and Hearing Month, and so we're offering 15% off hearing devices in honor of our 15th anniversary and in honor of our new location. And
that should have been 20.
Pardon?
15. That should be 5 added to the 15. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. I kid a lot, in case you notice. No, Dr. Annette, what is the latest that you have in digital hearing instruments? Assistive listening devices, and those custom protective devices that you carry, and also the other range of products.
Yes.
I know there's a whole range you carry at Cayman Hearing Center. Let's talk about them a bit.
So, when you're rushing in the morning and you might leave something at home, I left my show and tell at home because I had my bag of devices to bring to show you. But anyway, we can imagine.
Since you can't show, you'll have to tell.
Exactly. So one of the newest products we have is, so it looks like an AirPod. You know, the AirPods that it looks for your phone. It looks like the AirPod, but it's a hearing device. Okay. And it functions as an AirPod. So a lot of our younger patients who do have hearing loss that don't want to wear the typical hearing aids, they're really enjoying it because it looks like an AirPod. So those are really cool. And I had them and they were charged and ready to go. And they're sitting on my kitchen counter. A lot of good they're doing me now. But next time I'll bring them. The other great feature about the devices is that they've gotten smaller. You know, if you remember back in the day, the big sort of beige-ish looking devices that people were wearing behind their ear, we call them the beige banana because they were so big. That's like an industry term, beige bananas. They've gotten a lot smaller. They come in a lot of different colors, and they all have Bluetooth, which is a huge selling point. They are able to automatically connect to any iPhone and any Android phone, like the latest software. I can't remember what it is, but if it's like an old one, it won't work. But anyway, and probably one of the biggest things is that it's also rechargeable. So hearing aids run on a battery.
Were they disposable before?
Yeah, so the batteries were disposable before. And there were patients that were getting anywhere from 3 days off of a battery up to 3 weeks. Okay. So they would have to be changing their batteries constantly. And it took the hearing aid companies a lot of research and development before they were able to find something that would work properly. And so they're rechargeable. Not all of them are, but we do have a big selection of rechargeable devices. They're also water resistant. So if you step in the shower, oh no, you're okay. If you jump in the ocean or the pool, you're okay. But I mean, just don't go swimming. But like if you forget, you're okay. They're also dust resistant. So the dust isn't going to get into the little components. Yeah, they're pretty interesting. They've come a long way. Okay. They're all digital, so we control them on the computer. We have like an equalizer, and we control the sound. Yeah.
What other products? I'm gonna make you pull those other products.
All the products out of my head. Yeah. So I touched on before. We have noise protection. So sleep plugs. We have swim plugs. So for children that have a lot of ear infections, we can do swim mold, so that keeps the water out the ears, or just anybody that wants to keep water out of their ears.
Need to have those when they're giving the kids a bath as well.
Yeah, that too.
Especially.
Yeah.
So, how important is it to manage noise in the workplace?
Oh, it's very important. So there is a dangerous noise level. In industries, we call it the noise prescription. There's like a noise prescription. And if you are in a noisy environment, we recommend that you are in that situation for 30 minutes and then you take a 30-minute break from the noise. So that doesn't mean that you take a 30-minute break from work. You just take a 30-minute break.
I was just thinking that. I'm like, oh, some people got lucky here.
You take a 30-minute, if you can, you take a 30-minute break from the noise. Now, the dangerous noise level is around about 85 to 90 decibels. So that is probably like a blow dryer. So anything louder than that, we do recommend that you, if you can, you take that break. If you're not able to, at the end of 8 hours if you have to work in the noise, you make sure you wear your earplugs, your noise protection, whether it's a custom noise protection or the ones that go over your ears, and you just try to limit it to no more than 8 hours.
Okay. I might have asked you this before, Dr. Stevenson. Like, take for instance, the announcers here at Radio Cayman. We wear headsets. Some of us don't wear them all the time. You know, just maybe while if you're on the air, you know, you have to speak. But sometimes, most of us, I keep mine on, especially if I'm listening to music. You know, keep it on for quite a while. What sort of decibel? I mean, I don't count decibel. I just know it's loud or it's,
a good,
you know.
A good rule of thumb when you're listening to music is if the person next to you can hear it through your headphones, it's too loud.
Okay.
So then we say you turn it down. There was a campaign years ago called Turn It to the Left, because on the volume, when you turn it to the left, he's turning it down. So yeah, they did a campaign. There was like this little rap song and everything about turn it to the left for noise protection. But if you're listening to headphones, again, you adopt the same principle, 30 minutes on, 30 minutes off, just to give your ears a break. But if not, if the person next to you can hear it, turn it down.
Turn it down.
Turn it to the left. Turn it to the left. Yes.
Now, let's go to ringing in the ears.
Oh, they're ringing in the ears.
I got a ringing in my ears.
Yeah. So
let's
tinnitus,
talk about that.
tinnitus. So tinnitus is a symptom of something. So tinnitus is not the disorder. When you come to me with a complaint of ringing in your ears, I am not going to treat the ringing because the ringing is because of something. My job is to find out what is causing the ringing. Is it your hearing loss? Is it medication, stress, high salt, high blood pressure, whatever it is? And then we try and address the cause of the ringing. If you come to me and you have the ringing and your hearing is normal and you don't need a hearing aid and there's no other contributing factors, then we do something that's called tinnitus retraining. And basically, we are training your brain to not pay attention to the tinnitus. Now, the tinnitus is actually, your brain has tuned into the sound of your nerve firing, the nerves working. And your brain has confused, for some reason, that sound is important and it needs to pay attention to that sound. You know that there's sound that we hear in our environment that, you know, like the AC, like we don't think it's important, so we don't tune into it. A fire alarm, yeah, okay, we're going to listen to it. And there's something that's happened where the brain thinks that the firing of our nerves is important and it needs to tune into that because it's a signal that it feels that we need to be aware of. So we do tinnitus retraining, so it's going to retrain your brain that is not an important sound, but we don't need to listen to hear that.
That is interesting.
Yeah.
Very interesting.
I did my research paper on that, so I also enjoy that part.
Very interesting, because I suffer from that, and I don't think about it as a problem.
Yes.
And I find if it's really loud, and I'll think about it, especially if you're in a quiet place.
Yes,
you'll hear
a
it.
Quiet place,
It'll
you'll hear
just
it.
scream at you.
There's some people that
but if you shut it out, if I shut it out, like right now, I shut it. I mean, I shut it out.
Yeah.
I don't hear it.
Yeah.
So you're right.
There's some people
I'm
that
gonna
can do that.
retrain my brain.
You retrain your brain.
Yeah.
There's some people that can do that, and there's some people that is just so loud they cannot.
Okay. That's
they
when you're in trouble.
Function. You know, I've had people that don't leave their house because of the ringing. I even had people where we've had to call in a psychologist because they have suicidal tendencies because of the ringing. So when somebody goes to their regular doctor and they say, oh, there's nothing you can do about it, don't do that. Just send them to me.
Okay. Now, would it be, do you think that it'll get increasingly, it'll get worse at some point? Or is just at a level where it'll stay there?
You know, it depends. It really depends. It can go away. It can change pitch. It can change volume. It can change anything. Can
turn into a rhythm.
It can turn into a rhythm. I had somebody come in and she's like, it sounds like, oh, come all ye faithful all the time in my head.
Oh, wow.
I was like, okay.
Oh, that's bad.
Like, okay.
That's bad. On that note, Dr. Stevenson, we're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we'll continue our discussion with Dr. Annette Stevenson. She's the owner and she's also an audiologist. She's the owner of Cayman Hearing Center. And you've been hearing all about what's going on over at Cayman Hearing Center. Oh gosh.
Don't let the stress of taking care of loved ones get you down.
Home care, now made easier with Cayman Medical Supplies. 100% Caymanian owned. Cayman Medical Supplies now stocks a wide range of home care supplies. Hospital beds, all types of wheelchairs, including beach access wheelchairs, lifts, commodes, shower chairs, walkers, Curad brand orthopedic supplies. Free blood glucose monitors with the purchase of 1 pack of test strips, blue underpads, and a whole lot more.
Need home care convenience? Drop by Cayman Medical Supplies at 93 Smith Road, Windward Center, or call 949-6211. Free delivery.
Open 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. Still delivering island-wide for your convenience.
I'm Michael Webster.
And I'm Denise Brown of Cayman Insurance Center.
Family is not the most important thing, it's everything.
And for 45 years, we have worked with the community and their families on protecting themselves for the future.
Whether it's providing top-rated life insurance
or protecting your family's household investment.
From our family to yours, we understand and we care.
I'm Denise Brown. Call me at 814-7229.
And I'm Michael Webster at 925-5433.
We are Cayman Insurance Center,
specializing in property, life, and other lines of insurance products and services at an affordable rate. We are Michael and
Denise at Cayman Insurance Center.
Call today.
Your Radio Cayman 6 p.m. news, Monday through Friday, is brought to you by Logic. Your life connected.
Business Buzz. Business Buzz with your host, Anita Khan.
Last few minutes in the Business Buzz. We're heading up to 9 o'clock. Susan's got some sweet, sweet music lined up for you in the breakfast session. But in the meantime, we're hearing all about hearing loss and diagnostic, audiological, everything. We've got Dr. Stevenson in the studio with us. She's the owner of Cayman Hearing Center. Dr. Stevenson, going back to the workplace environment a little bit for a second before we move on. Let's talk about stats. Are you seeing an increase in cases of hearing loss locally?
I don't know if I can say that we're seeing an increase. Mm-hmm. You know, this is one of the statistics that we don't really keep a good track of on this island. Like, we don't have a national statistic as to how many individuals have hearing loss. If there is, nobody's mentioned it. Mm-hmm. So I can't say how many people have a hearing loss. But the general rule of thumb is 10% of a population has some sort of hearing loss, whether it be mild to severe. So if our population is like 70,000 roughly, so we can safely estimate that about 7,000 people on this island have some level of hearing loss.
I mean, considering we don't have factories and
yeah, well,
like
that's
that.
only just like one small reasoning behind hearing loss. You know, hearing loss can be industrial, lifestyle. You know, people do listen to music a lot. We do have a lot of DJs on the weekends, right? We do have the gun range. We do have construction. But then there's also genetics.
Noisy traffic.
We're
getting there.
There's also illnesses and medication. A lot of people don't realize the correlation with some medications that will impact their hearing. You know, like chemotherapy drugs is a big thing. Aspirin can cause a ringing in your ears.
Aspirin.
Yeah, aspirin.
Those people who take daily
the baby aspirin, they might notice an increase in the ringing. But then you have to say, well, do I have to take the baby aspirin to stay alive? Or is it just because?
Listen to the rhythm in my ear.
Yeah.
Does Cayman Hearing Center offer businesses any sort of noise assessment?
We do. So if you are in an industry where there's a lot of noise and you want us to come out and measure the noise to see whether it's safe or it's not safe, and so that you can have some safety protocols in for your staff, that is definitely something that we do.
Mm-hmm. No, the big thing is, what are the consequences of untreated hearing loss, Doc?
Depression is a big one. Dementia. People don't think that there's a correlation, but there is a correlation. Dementia. Withdrawal from social situations. Fatigue. Tiredness. Headaches, stress. misunderstanding, communication.
All that.
Sometimes it could be life and death. Like if you can't hear the fire truck coming down the road.
Or if you're crossing the street.
Or you're crossing the street and you can't hear something. Yeah.
Okay. And you're in your new location. I can't believe you're in a new
I'm
location.
so excited
for you.
It's so exciting. It's so exciting. We're at Alyssa Towers, 85 North Sound Road. We're on the 3rd floor. We do have an elevator.
No, before we let you go, let's talk a little bit about hearing aids and why hearing aids, why the fittings are important.
Right. So, is
it important?
Like glasses? You go get your glasses and you put it on, and it's like, oh yay! No, with the hearing devices, we do have to adjust them. When you go out into your world, into your daily life, and you come back and you let us know the situations, we're able to adjust it. The hearing aids, it's not something that I can just give you the hearing aids in a box and say, okay, bye-bye. We spend 30 to 45 minutes sitting with you, teaching you how to put it in, how to take it off, how to clean it when you first get them, because you have to know these things to be comfortable. We go over a listening diary of how to get used to it. And then we see you on a regular basis. Probably like the first month, we probably see you like once a week for the first month, because we can't follow you around in your daily life. So you go and you come back and you report back to us. And then we hook you up on the computer and we do our live speech mapping and we can adjust the devices. About 80% of the time we're good the first time, the first appointment we're good. But, there is some room where we need to do some adjustments. So it's very important. If you get hearing aids and there's been no follow-up, no nothing, that's not good.
Okay. Now, how long does it normally take to adjust to a new hearing instrument?
A new hearing aid? So it takes everybody's different. But we do give you a 45-day trial period. You do have a 45-day trial period that you can try the devices. And if you do your job and we do our job within the 45 days and there's just no helping you, then we'll take them back. But typically we see anywhere from 2 to 3 weeks where you'll get used to it because you're hearing things that you hadn't heard before. The biggest thing is the indicator in the car. Or the seat belt dinging. People are like, I hear this noise in my car. And I'll actually go to the car with them and I'm like, okay. And they're like, yeah, this is the noise. I'm like, that's your indicator.
Wow.
Or that's the seat belt. Or that's the key left in the ignition with the door open. Their footsteps, paper rustling, so sounds that they haven't heard in a while. They have to get used to.
Wow, nice.
Yeah.
Now, what are some tips you could offer to support better ear health?
Turn down the volume.
Turn it down. Isn't the name of that song again? Turn it down.
Turn it to the left.
Turn it to the left. Turn
yes,
it to the right.
Just make sure that, if you are in a noisy environment, to wear your hearing protection. I can't. It's tongue twister.
See?
Yes, tongue twister. And, of course, I'm going to be biased and I'm going to say come in and have your hearing tested at least once a year. And don't use Q-tips.
Oops. Too late. Too late. No, Dr. Stevenson, hearing aids covered by insurance companies, and if so, which insurance?
So we do accept all insurance.
All insurance.
We take all insurance.
Okay.
Some
including
of them,
Cynical.
Including Cynical. We do need a referral for Cynical. And each,
as usual.
But each insurance company has a different level of coverage. But we verify that and we let you know that before your appointment what your coverage is.
Okay. Normally, like your eyeglasses or your testing, they say every 2 years with the hearing.
So the hearing, if you have normal hearing, we say every 2 years. If you have a hearing loss, 6 months to a year.
Okay. And most insurances cover what? 1 year, every year? Or?
Most insurance covers once a year.
Once per year.
Yeah.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
Okay. Didn't know that.
But yeah, again, it depends on the plan, as you know. Health insurance, that's a whole other topic for a whole other day.
Oh, yeah. We can do that. We've got time. How can interested folks get in touch with Cayman Hearing Center?
All right. So the best way to do is you can call us at 946-9174. You can find us on Facebook at Cayman Hearing Center, Instagram at Cayman Hearing Center. Our website is caymanhearingcenter.com, and center is CENTER.
Oh, ER. Okay.
caymanhearingcenter.com. Our email is info@caymanhearingcenter.com. But the best way is to call us 946-9174. We also do have WhatsApp, 925-5836.
That's
but not
925-5836. I know somebody's going to call me sometime in the morning and ask me, what was that WhatsApp
so
number
that's
again?
our WhatsApp number, is 925-5836. Yes.
Dr. Stevenson, what would you like to leave with our listeners this morning on the Buzz?
I just want to say thank you to the community for supporting us for the last 15 years. And I want to encourage everybody to come and have their hearing tested. If you mention that you heard me on the Business Buzz, you'll get a free hearing screening. But don't tell my staff I said that. No, I'm just kidding.
and you get 15% off.
And you'll get 15% off hearing certain hearing devices for the month of May in honor of our 15th anniversary and in honor of Better Speech and Hearing Month. And if nothing else, come by and say hi at our new location on 85 North Sound Road, Alista Towers, the 3rd floor. Yes, we have an elevator. We'd be happy just to say hi. So,
okay.
Thank you for having me, Anita.
Thank you, Dr. Stevenson of Cayman Hearing Center. Thank you so much for being on the Buzz this morning. It's been fun. I always learn something new from you every time you step into the studio. And here's to another 3,000 happy clients.
Thank you. Have a beautiful day.
Thank you. Cayman, thanks to our sponsors this morning, Cayman Insurance Center. Thank you. And Cayman Medical Supplies. Brock Medical Supplies now open in Cayman Brack. And thanks to all our listeners, our YouTube viewers, and of course our producer of the Buzz, Miss Susan Watson. Until Tuesday, May 24th, when we bring you another Business Buzz is proudly sponsored. In the meantime, please stay safe and have a wonderful day. Susan is ready to go with some music. All the best from me, Anita Karen. Goodbye.
The Business Buzz is proudly sponsored by Cayman Medical Supplies. Call them at 949-6211. And Cayman Insurance Center, celebrating 45 years in the Cayman Islands, specializing in property, life, and other lines of insurance products and services.
Radio Cayman, the voice